Episode 4 picks up with Barry, Sally, and Sam all out to dinner. Barry seems very uncomfortable in this moment, sitting across from the man who has physically harmed the woman that he is in love with. Sally is being very cordial to Sam, and Sam is acting like Mr. Nice Guy. Sam eventually pays for the dinner, and the scene switches to the acting class. At the acting class, Barry confronts Sally for being polite to Sam at the dinner. He points out to the script saying that she never wants to see him again. But at dinner, she was being overly nice and even thanked Sam for paying. At first, Sally says she was just being nice, but then she has a breakdown. She admits that she never stood up to Sam and that her scene is basically bullshit. She left, but she never stood up for herself like she writes. She then says she should change her play, but Barry comforts her and gives her the confidence to do the play, saying that it is okay to have secrets. Back to Fuchs' hotel. John is lining the room with wires in an attempt to catch Barry admitting to a crime. Barry calls Fuchs, asking for a new movie to rip off for his scene, saying Braveheart was too popular. John asks Fuchs to have Barry come over to the hotel to speak in person. Quick check-in on Gene and his son. His son dropped off strawberries for Gene, showing a huge improvement in their relationship. Gene is beyond happy here in this moment. Sally is then seen practicing her lines for her upcoming scene. As Barry watches on, he catches Sam spying on Sally when she specifically asked him not to watch this scene. Sam then flees the studio. Barry follows him out. He tells him never to come back. The two go back and forth, but right before Sam drives off, he tells Barry to not forget that he had her first when she was tight. This puts Barry into a fit of rage. Sam then calls Sally, asking her to come to his hotel so he can give her a present, as he is leaving LA tonight. She agrees, but she does not feel comfortable. At the same time, we see Barry burst into his apartment and leave quickly with a gun. He then hops in his car to go visit Sam. Sam has Sally come up to his hotel room, making her more uncomfortable than she already is. Sam then gives Sally a playbill from high school and compliments her on the performance and her most recent success. He is basically trying to butter her up here so that she will not go through with her play. He fears that this will bash his name and his family will hate him for it. She says she's still going to do the play, but she can change his name. This is still not okay with Sam, as he hit the wall right next to her head, making Sally want to leave even more. As she opens the door to leave, we see Barry pointing a gun right at Sam. But no one notices this because of the argument going on between Sally and Sam. Sally leaves, Barry leaves, and he goes to his car and freaks out for what he almost just did. He calls Fuchs. Fuchs tells him to never contact him again and to not come to his hotel, basically warning him that he has turned and he doesn't want to rat him out anymore. Barry then visits Gene and has a talk about the war. He has hid this secret since the beginning of the series, and he asks Gene if he can tell it to him, but is worried that Gene will look at him differently after this. Gene tells him that he can trust him. Barry goes on to tell him the story of when his Marine buddy Arthur got shot in the face. This put Barry back into pure rage mode, and he went to the closest house where he saw a witness shut the door, thinking this was the person who shot his friend. He burst into the house, and without thinking, shoots this man to death. The other Marines near him told him that this was not the man who had shot Arthur. The officers above him pulled some strings and got Barry honorably discharged. Gene says he basically got away with murder and to never tell this to anyone again. Gene does go on to comfort Barry, saying he is not a monster, and just because of past mistakes, it doesn't mean he can't change. And he has seen change in Barry. This makes Barry extremely happy, so he goes to visit Fuchs against his wishes. When he gets there, Fuchs is attempting to escape the hotel by climbing out of the window. Barry notices this and asks him to go inside so they can talk. Barry goes on to tell Fuchs about the conversation with Gene. Fuchs is trying very hardly here to get Barry to be quiet, but Barry is in such a good mood, so he goes on to do it. He admits to killing Janice on tape. Joe then bursts in, pointing his gun at Barry. He tells Fuchs to leave so that they can talk together. Barry thinks he is caught red-handed and everything is done at this moment. But then things change. Joe shows a picture of Ronnie Proxon to Barry. This is the man who his wife left him for. He says, "Kill Ronnie and this all goes away." Barry, shocked by this, replies with the episode title. What?
Thank you for watching this recap. If you do not see the next one up in the corner right there on the end screen, don't worry, it'll be up shortly. Please consider following the channel. That'd be cool. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. And if you don't, there's a thumbs down button for a reason.